If you're a science student in India, you know the pressure. It feels like there's one single path everyone talks about: engineering. It's sold as the golden ticket, the key to respect, a good salary, and a secure future. But what if that's not the whole story? In this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain on that myth and explore the incredible universe of rewarding careers that your science background has set you up for. Careers that go way beyond that traditional engineering track. Okay, so first things first, we have to tackle this engineering myth head on. This idea that it's the default, the safest, and really the only logical choice for a smart science student. But is that actually true? Let's look at some numbers that might just surprise you. Take a look at this number, 1.6 million. That's roughly how many students are fighting for engineering seats through the JEE exams alone. I mean, just think about that for a second. It shows you just how incredibly crowded this one single path has become. And whenever you have that many people funneling into a system with a limited number of great opportunities, you're going to get a serious bottleneck. It affects everything, from the quality of education to, and this is the big one, whether you can even get a job at the end of it all. And get this, let's look at the absolute peak, the gold standard, IIT Bombay. In 2024, 15% of graduates who were actively looking for jobs were still unplaced by the end of the official season. Now, that is not a small number. That's a huge deal. If even at the most elite engineering institute in the country, a job isn't a guarantee, it proves that this so-called safest path actually comes with some pretty big risks. Now, let's be really clear here. The point isn't that engineering is a bad career. It's an amazing, vital field. The problem is the one-size-fits-all mindset. The idea that we should push millions of students down the exact same road, whether it fits their actual talents or what they're passionate about. What makes a brilliant career for one person could be a total dead end for someone else. And this, right here, is where it gets interesting. Almost 80% of students choose the science stream after 10th grade. But that shouldn't be a funnel into just one career. It should be a launchpad. Your foundation in science doesn't lock you in. It actually unlocks dozens of different doors. So let's start opening some of them. All right, first up, let's talk to the visual thinkers out there, the ones who think in images, in shapes, and in structures. If you're someone who just loves to create, to build, and to solve problems with your eyes and your hands, then these next few slides are definitely for you. Just pause for a second and think about this. When you look at an empty piece of land, what do you see? Is it just empty? Or does your brain automatically start building something? Do you see walls going up, maybe a staircase, rooms filled with sunlight? If your mind can just create a 3D structure out of thin air like that, you might just have the core skill of an architect. So here we've got two main creative paths. Architecture is all about physical space, designing the buildings and places we live and work in. It's a serious commitment, a 5-year B.Arch degree. Then you have design, which is much broader. It's all about the user experience, how we interact with, well, everything. Products, apps, you name it. Both are creative, for sure, but architecture is really grounded in structural logic, while design focuses a lot more on art and even psychology. And the world of a designer is huge. It literally impacts everything you touch. You know that bright orange Kirkery packet that grabs your attention in the store? A product designer made that call. That awesome thumbnail that made you click on a video? That's a graphic designer. A UI/UX designer is the reason your favorite app is so easy to use. And yeah, the people who design the incredible look of the latest cars, they're designers. It's a field that's all about creativity meeting human psychology. Okay, let's switch gears. We're moving from the visual to the verbal, from physical structures to logical strategies. This next group of careers is for the analytical mind, the person who is wired for logic, for debate, for solving complex puzzles. If you get more of a thrill from building a killer argument than building a house, then this section is for you. Yeah, this path is for the strategist, the person who loves a good debate, who can break down a complicated problem into its core parts, and who kind of sees the world as a big logical system. If you have a real knack for persuasion and structured thinking, then fields like law and management are a direct way to put those skills to work. Now, within law, there are two main roads you can take. You have the litigation lawyer, that's the classic courtroom lawyer you see in movies, arguing cases for clients. And then there's the corporate lawyer. They work inside companies, helping them navigate complex rules and make big strategic decisions. And here's a tip for science students. All that logical reasoning and analytical skill you built up in math, it gives you a massive advantage when you're trying to crack entrance exams like CLAT. Management is another powerhouse option. A lot of engineers do their B.Tech and then get an MBA to jump into leadership roles, but there's actually a faster way. You've got these integrated 5-year programs at top schools like the IIMs, where you got a BBA and an MBA all in one go right after 12th. If you already know that management is your end goal, this path can give you a really big head start. All right, let's pivot again. Now we're talking about careers that combine a deep understanding of science with a real desire to help people and serve society. This is for the student who is driven by empathy, by a call to make a difference. Look, we all know getting an MBBS seat is incredibly tough, but the world of healthcare is so much bigger than that. You could be developing the next life-saving drug with a degree in pharmacy. You could be the absolute backbone of patient care as a nurse. With biotechnology, you could be creating things like advanced prosthetic limbs. And then you have fields like physiotherapy, forensics, even alternative medicine. All of them are powerful ways to use science to directly help people. And for those who feel a strong call to serve the nation, the National Defense Academy offers one of the most respected career paths in the entire country. If you get in after 12th, you are on a direct path to becoming a Class 1 gazetted officer, a high-ranking leader in the Army, Navy, or Air Force. I mean, this is a career that's all about huge responsibility, strategic thinking, and a deep, deep sense of purpose. Okay, this last section is for a special kind of student. This is for the one who doesn't just use math to solve problems, but who actually loves math for its own sake. The abstract thinker who sees beauty in numbers and pure logic. When you go deep and specialize in mathematics or statistics at a top-tier place like the Indian Statistical Institute, you unlock a whole new level of careers at the cutting edge of tech and finance. You could become a data scientist, finding hidden patterns in massive amounts of data, a cryptographer, basically building the security systems of the future, or a financial analyst, predicting how the market will move. In these jobs, your math skill isn't just a tool, it's the whole engine. And if you're thinking, okay, that sounds cool, but does it pay well? Oh, yeah. The average salary for graduates from the Chennai Mathematical Institute was 17.5 lakh rupees. This just goes to show that specializing in what you are truly passionate about, even something as fundamental as math, can be incredibly rewarding financially. So we've covered a lot of ground, right? From design and law to defense and data science. But the goal here was never to just replace one default career with a bunch of others. The real goal was to give you a new map, to show you that there are so many different paths you can take. Here's the bottom line. Real, meaningful success isn't about forcing yourself onto the most crowded highway just because everyone else is on it. It starts with looking inward. It begins with you being honest with yourself about what you're good at, what you genuinely find interesting, and how your brain works. True success is when your work lines up with who you really are, not with what everyone else expects you to be. So I'll leave you with this one last thought. Just take a moment and really honestly ask yourself, if there was no pressure from your parents, no what will society think, nobody to impress, what would you actually want to do? The answer to that question, that might just be where your real career path begins.